Hello everybody, and now we are doing the second game in our long line series of playthroughs. And I think we all know what one we're doing.
Fallout New Vegas?
Because Fallout New Vegas looks like this.
On your computer about, yeah.
Oh, go fuck yourself. Playing Fallout 1. And I don't know a damn thing about this game, but you do. So you have to tell the people about it.
I know a little bit about this game, but not a lot. This game has a tendency to want to kill you.
Well, I don't recall the Last Express holding back.
That was gentle in comparison to how this game wants to kill you.
There's an idea. Did I just see that they...
Yes.
You don't even know what I was going to ask!
You were asking about the public execution of the found prisoner.
Well, no, I don't give two shits about that. I care about the fact that there was a caption before that saying that America annexed Canada.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
Why?
Because Fallout World.
Do we not give them enough crap?
Well, you also have to consider that the US and China went to nuclear war and annihilated each other.
You know, I really have to start reading my history books. I seem to be missing out on so much.
Yeah, apparently.
And the outside totally looks like that. I'm looking out my window right now. There's broken buildings everywhere.
War never changes.
Oh, I think it does.
Waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory. Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower. But war never changes.
Let's not talk about Hitler. Everybody hates Hitler.
War was still waged over the resources that could be acquired. Only this time, the spoils of war were also its weapons.
Ugh.
Petroleum and uranium.
Those aren't
These
weapons.
resources, China would invade Alaska.
They can be used as such.
The US
Yes, but they aren't weapons by
The
design.
European Commonwealth would dissolve
Nothing
into
is.
quarreling, bickering nation states.
That's not true. A gun is a weapon by
controlling the
design.
last remaining resources on Earth.
Okay, I'll give you that, but I
In
was talking about
2077,
elementals.
the storm of World War had
It's not exactly elementals.
in
Or
200
elements.
hours, most of the planet
Raw
was
resources.
reduced to cinders.
There we go.
From
And
the
uranium
ashes
is
of
an
nuclear
elemental.
devastation,
I have
another
never ran
civilization
into a
was
uranium elemental.
A few were able to reach the relative safety
you're just
of
not going to the
large
right planes.
underground vaults.
I go on plenty of planes, but I'm not talking about this on YouTube. I don't need there to be a
Imprisoned
huge
safely behind
comment
a
about
vault
that.
door, under a mountain of stone, a generation has lived without knowledge of the outside world.
Oh, so all those crazy bomb-fearing freaks actually bought a huge empire and built a ton of vaults.
Yep.
Why do
Although
I
it
have
was actually
to...
the American government who funded the Vault Tech project. I believe there was 114, 120 or something like that vaults that were developed. There was over 100 vaults that were developed and constructed. There was plans to build more, but they ran out of time to build them before the war actually happened and annihilated everybody.
It's not much of a war when it's just a bunch of bombs that kill everything.
Yeah, that's true. It's a very short war.
Emphasis on the word short.
It's true. Very effective war, but very, very short. Although I suppose it's not all that effective when you get annihilated too.
Oh, there we go.
I would suggest creating a character.
You want me to customize a character?
Yes.
Dude, we will be here for days if I do it. Because I'll write a bio, the history of the last 10 years of his life.
The first episode could be fast forward edition of you creating a character.
I think my editor would kill me if I did that. He already had to do a metric ton of fast forwarding for the Last Express. He's not happy with me.
I suppose that's true.
Okay, fine. Well, that's a lot of shit I can do.
Yeah, but it's broken down into basically 3 different sections. In the top left, you have your stat points, where you want to distribute the stats so that you have a decent number of in whatever stats you care about. On the right, you've got your skills, which is you can select 3 skills. Those are your primary skills, and they've got better stats than everything else, basically. And then in the bottom left, you've got your optional traits, which you can choose, I believe, 2 of. You don't have to add any, but they all have a benefit and a weakness. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, depending on how you want to play the game.
Well, okay. We'll worry about stat points later. Maybe we should focus on skills. What primary skills we pick should determine...
Skills are derived from your stats. You want to determine your stats first. At least I believe the skills are. Try changing one of the stats, like agility or strength. See if that changes skills. Yeah, your skills jumped. Some of your skills jumped. You want to make sure you do your stats before you do your skills.
Well, if we determine what our primary skills are, then we can build the stats around the primary skills.
Fair point.
Okay, so I can pick 3 out of what looks like 15.
About that.
Yeah, alright.
I would suggest 1, maybe 2 different types of guns, or like weaponry, and then put something else into like barter or such like that. Small guns or melee is a really good base
because they're already really high as it is.
They're really high as it is, and they're fairly reliable to acquire throughout the game. Big guns, energy weapons, throwing, they're good, but not as good. Big guns and energy weapons are very powerful, but you're not going to find them for a while.
And it's not like me being able to use them early on has any real benefit.
Yes, but it's harder to level them up as you play the game.
What the hell does Outdoorsman do? That could actually be useful. Base 5%. Yep. Oh, good. It actually spells out the formula for you.
Yep.
How very kind of the game to do so.
Yep.
Okay, so you suggest that I should put 2 tag skills into combat and then 1 into something else. At least 1?
At least 1 into combat, so like small guns or melee weapons. Maybe throwing a second onto like energy weapons, and then a third one into some sort of an interaction like speech or barter.
Pistols, SMGs, and rifles.
Oh yeah, and rifles count as small guns.
Yeah, I know, I just read that and I'm like, you know what, that's it. Right off the bat, that makes this an extremely useful skill.
That's why I'm suggesting
because that encompasses almost everything, so, you know, I will take small guns right off the bat.
Energy weapons qualifies as anything that uses lasers. Can be a laser pistol to a plasma Gatling gun. Well, I don't know if there's a plasma Gatling gun. I think there was.
It hardly matters. You're basically saying that it encompasses anything that uses energy as a ammunition.
Yes. It does. Whereas big guns are like flamethrowers, rocket launchers, miniguns, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was actually kind of... Those are nice and powerful and such, but they're probably extremely heavy. Their ammo is very scarce, and I just see a whole lot of drawbacks to that.
For the first two, you're right. They are extremely heavy. They are also, the ammunition is for fairly rare, at least when you're starting out the game. It gets much better as the game progresses. Same with energy weapons. The ammunition is very scarce at the start. Melee weapons are a useful fallback if you run out of ammo for your primary. But if you are going to be conservative with your ammunition, you shouldn't need to worry about melee weapons quite so much.
If I'm going to be conservative about my ammunition, that means I shouldn't be firing my gun at every enemy I run into, which means I need an alternative.
You'll also notice, though, that your skill, even with it untagged, is 70, 60, something like that.
Yeah, unarmed.
70. Yeah.
That is a pretty high base percentage, but what does that even count? A combination of martial arts, boxing, and other hand-to-hand martial arts. Hands and feet. Okay, so I could just punch the shit out of things. But I'm willing to bet you anything that punching the shit out of things does very little damage.
Probably, but you'll also notice that the melee weapon starts out at 60%, and that's actually not bad. Although that's your agility and strength, so...
That's agility plus strength divided by 2, yeah.
If you decrease those, then that number will go down.
Well, like I said, when we're picking these skills, we're going to build our...
Agility?
Small guns was, yeah, agility. Just agility.
What's energy weapons?
Agility again.
All guns are pure agility.
Looks to be the case. Yeah. The other ones are agility and strength additions. And throwing, yeah, again, is pure agility. Throwing knives, spears, and grenades. Well, grenades might be useful.
Yeah. but they're also going to be more scarce.
True. I'm not the kind of person who throws knives and spears.
Knives I could see, spears not so much.
I'm not a knife thrower. I'm no thief. I don't do the thief thing.
You could always tag steel.
Didn't I just say I'm not the thief kind?
Yeah.
I don't do
I believe
stealing.
that's pure agility. What do you know?
Steal from people or places. I shouldn't even have to resort to that.
No, you shouldn't.
In fact, if anything, I should probably put some... Oh, you have a speech. What's that?
I told you.
Just charismatic. What does it get me? Is it what I actually want? Skill convincing others that your position is correct, and the ability to lie and not get caught. Yeah, I like being a very charismatic, chatty person. The only problem is, I think that's just charisma.
It is just charisma, and charisma is not necessarily the most useful skill or stat in the game.
Jeez, gambling is just based off of luck, which is hilarious. Endurance and
Why wouldn't it
intelligence.
be based off of luck, though?
Well, you know, there's a bit of skill to be had in gambling, like when to fold, when to hit, when not to, how to weight odds in your favor. There's a fair bit of thinking in mind.
There's that, but I'd say basing it off of pure luck makes sense for the game.
Suppose so. Be nice if we get it. So this is just pure agility. I think it might be a good idea to maybe build the stats around a single particular stat. Sneak, I might actually think about doing.
It's not just useful for in towns. You can sneak around enemies in vaults and such.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. I mean, I really shouldn't have to sneak around in town. I'm not going to piss people off. Hopefully.
Depends which town you're in. Some towns, they don't like you no matter what you do.
General healing skills. That's useful. But I take it I need an item, yes. First aid kits to do that.
Yep.
Okay. What's the difference between a first aid and a doctor? Oh, major wounds. Okay, so I can sew up a cut, but I can't reattach an arm. Simple enough. I can do both those things now. Hell's repair. Oh my god, does my shit break?
Yes.
Damn it! What is this, 2004?
It breaks in Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas as well. Haven't you played either of those?
Um...
I'll take that as a no.
I'm the kind of person who won't play a series unless I've started from the beginning because I think there's a ton I'll miss and I'll just be behind.
That's fair enough.
What governs hit points?
I believe your endurance.
Guess that makes sense.
I'll also point out, just for the sake of pointing it out, Fallout 1 and 2 happens on the west coast of the United States, whereas Fallout 3 happens on the east coast.
Great. Both coasts that I know nothing about.
I'm just pointing it out because if you play Fallout 3, it actually has no impact on the storyline of Fallout 1 and 2 for the most part. There is some information that from Fallout, if you have from Fallout 1 and 2, it enhances the storyline of Fallout 3 a little bit, but there's nothing critical.
Okay. So, I've got small guns. There's really no need for me to train up on these two things considering how high they are. So I've got 2 tag stats left.
Out of curiosity, does tagging actually increase the number, or does it just increase when you're leveling it up? Yeah, it increases the number by 20 points. Okay.
Yeah, looks pretty good there.
I just thought I'd ask.
It's more or less a skill that I'm going to use a lot. And me doing a blind playthrough, I have no idea what I'm expecting.
Lockpick and steal. Just so that you can be that thief character you said you're not.
I'm not doing that. Hell's science?
What's what?
Just science in general?
It's basically the ability to use high-tech technology. The technology of the bygone era before the war. Which actually can come in handy sometimes.
both intelligence based. You know what? Oops.
Intelligence is actually a decent stat to have as well because it provides you additional skill points when you level up.
Okay, so I think I'll go with this. And by this logic, I want to upgrade agility and intelligence with my 5 points.
Actually, you can decrease your stats as well. Say, if you don't want to use charisma, you can decrease your charisma to give yourself additional points to spend in intelligence. You can decrease down to 1.
Why not? I just want
It
to talk
actually
to
has an impact to decrease your charisma that far, though. People won't want to talk to you.
Well, I won't want to talk to them.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Everything else just... Would there be a bad backlash if I took out all of my potential luck?
You don't want to decrease your luck if you're going to be dealing with combat. The luck will provide you with critical hits. Strength you don't really want to decrease. Perception you don't really want to decrease because that increases your accuracy to some extent. Endurance, if you decrease it, you're using a lot of guns, so as long as you can avoid enemies, you can decrease it by a point or 2.
I'll just spend my last point on it.
I said decrease your endurance. If you're not planning on being in melee combat, you shouldn't need too much endurance.
True enough. But then what am I going to do with all the extra stuff?
You could increase your perception. You could increase your luck. You could increase your strength. I'd say perception would probably be your best option. And then... I'd put that last 1 point into strength rather than luck, I think. The higher strength gives you the ability to carry more weight. It also modifies your hit points. It also increases your ability to use certain larger weaponry. You need certain weapons need a certain base strength to use.
Sure, I'll go with that. And now these optimal traits. Let's see if there's something that actually aids in our build set. Mass metabolism.
Frame, I believe, does, but I'm not entirely sure.
This means that you're much less resistant to radiation and poison, but your body heals faster. Might be useful for a guy who has low health. A little slower, but a little bigger. Small frame. Not quite as big as the other foe dwellers, but that never slowed you down. Can't carry as much, but you're more agile. Considering our agility's at 9 right now.
Yes, but you could also get that, which would increase your agility and give you more points to spend for your stats. And there are companions that you can acquire in the game who can carry stuff around for you, so the carrying more stuff doesn't really matter as much.
Okay, let's see what that does. Alright, so I can drop that down by 1.
It only gives you 1 point for agility?
Unless you've got another idea to put that point somewhere.
No, not really.
Okay. One holder, single-handed weapons, two-handed weapons cause problems. You're better at one-handed, maybe. Lots of finesse. Don't do as much damage, but you cause more critical hits.
I'd say no.
Yeah, okay. I almost don't want to put this one in. Let's see. Lowers armor class, but... Oh, you sequence much faster in combat.
Which basically means that your turn comes up sooner than your enemies for the first round. After that, it's a sequence of I go, you go, I go, you go, I go, you go. So basically, do you want to start combat more often, start the first turn of combat more often, or do you want to have a better chance of surviving combat?
How low my hit points are, I don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
Heavy-handed. You swing harder, but your accuracy falls. Okay. No. Fast shot. More shots off. Costs you 1 less action point to use the weapon. But I bet you it drops your accuracy like a... No. Body mass. Oh, well, that's gruesome. You always see... Does this just make it so that people explode when I kill them?
Yes, although there's always the chance that they do it on their own, so it's kind of just not...
What a stupid ability.
Yeah.
Good thing that everything are... What? So, this just increases everybody's critical failures, including yourself.
Yeah,
You jinx the planet.
basically.
As powerful as that is, it's very stupid.
Well, more so if you have guns that you use, because it breaks... Critical failure actually damages your guns.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay, well, that's pretty much the exact opposite of what I want. Because I didn't put points in any of those. You're a current... Wait a minute. I can crave chemicals?
Yes, you can become addicted to chems.
I think I'm going to take the polar opposite of that.
I'd actually suggest not even going for either of them.
Fine, I'll go with that. Night person. Although I usually am a night person.
I would suggest that's not even all that important, because people don't usually stand out around and talk at night.
No.
Although, I suppose there's more to it than just talking.
You start with a better skill. The trade-off is that you don't gain as many extra abilities. You'll gain a perk every 4 levels.
I would personally not go for that.
Ooh, that's a pretty big hit. I want to see what that looks like. Oh. I don't know. That doesn't do as nearly as big a slice as I thought it would be. What do you think?
And you gain 5 less skill points per level. How many skill points do you gain per level? Click on your int. It doesn't say. I'd actually personally not go with gifted.
Yeah, I'm going to take a recommendation over what I see, because you actually have something to for...
I'm just concerned that you're never going to get enough skill gain through not having it, basically. Or through having it.
I suppose it makes sense. Is that it? Anything else to do?
I'm just looking at something. Male and female is a decision that you have to make. There is a slight mechanical difference between them. Age has no difference, and you do have to name your characters. Your character.
Naming's easy. And age, whatever, but male, female. I've never played female characters. I'm not very good at them.
There's very minimal difference between them. Mechanically, they're almost the same.
I don't see anything stat-wise.
I'm talking about in-game, mechanically. There's almost no difference. There's no difference in stats.
Sexism doesn't exist in Fallout.
Basically, there's a couple of people who will react to you differently if you're male or female. Aside from the general, like, oh, hello, good sir, and oh, hello, good lady, kind of thing.
How young can I get?
I believe 18? Oh, 16.
Done. Let's send the 16-year-old out into the tattered wasteland. See how long he lives.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing that just to fuck with the system. That I like. I know you said age makes no difference, but really, you're 16. The jokes almost write themselves. Anything else left to do before we name them?
I'm thinking about the gifted. If you put the extra, like, if you have really high int, I don't know if it makes. I don't. It depends how many skill points you gain per level up with int.
Well, you can look into that, and next time we'll have an answer. How does that sound?
Looks like 5 plus 2 times intelligence.
Oh, so you have an answer now.
Yes.
So what's your answer on gifted?
I'd say it would depend if you want the extra stat points.
Getting extra stat points, I'd probably take 2 off, but then that gives us 2 more to distribute around.
Yeah.
What would we do with the additional 2, though?
Put 1 into perception and 1 into endurance or luck. Or you could take 1 out of, say, charisma and put it into luck. It really comes down to what you want to do.
We basically already screwed the pooch on his charisma.
Oh.
We're no point
take
really.
1 point out of strength and put it into charisma. I said charisma, not luck.
Oops. Alright. We good? We're golden?
I don't know about golden, but good enough.
Next time we'll name them.